A masterclass in technical precision. This is Knitter by William-Adolphe Bouguereau. The painting portrays a young girl knitting as she leans against a stone facade. Steps to the left of the canvas lead the eye up to a church and other buildings in the background. The style of the buildings suggest a more exotic Mediterranean location. Bouguereau's figural subjects were mainly women and children, including peasants and gypsies, which were popular subjects in 19th century France since it was a period of social change. Literature such as the writings of Émile Zola and Victor Hugo highlighted socio-economic issues. The visual arts followed the trend through depictions of the principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Bouguereau grew up in a Catholic family that struggled financially. Never one to wade into politics, he had a profound and compassionate respect for the working class and valued equality and charity. Similar to his depictions of shepherdesses, Bouguereau painted a number of different knitters with varying poses and emotions. Knitting and other handiwork also served as an allegorical subtext for maturity. Some scholars interpret the act of fabrication as mimicking a child's evolving personality and development. As is characteristic of his work, the girl's subdued expression captivates the viewer as she gazes directly out of the canvas. The intended audiences and patrons of Bouguereau's work were affluent members of society. Whether her stare was meant to implore the adult viewer to contemplate charity, an allegorical subtext in some of Bouguereau's works, or simply a casual interruption of her attention, is open to interpretation. This subjectiveness is also reinforced by the titles Bouguereau chose for his works. He tended to give them simple titles to encourage interpretation by the viewer. While she may be of lower societal class, her portrayal is idealized. Her clothes are pristine, her skin clean with a healthy coloring, a bit of pink to her cheeks. While her hair is a bit mussed, which might be expected of a girl her age, it looks soft to the touch. The girl becomes more ethereal, almost Cinderella-like in subtext. In terms of composition, this is a wonderful example of Bouguereau's technical mastery. His portrayal of the knitter is lifelike, almost a photorealistic rendering. The girl's hands are especially notable for their intricate positioning. His attention to detail is revealed by the thin yarn wrapped around her pinky finger as she knits. Her use of 3 needles means she is knitting in the round, perhaps a stocking or a sleeve. There's also a lot of contrasting textures in the painting. The smooth metal of the knitting needles with their clean lines almost glow as they glint in the daylight. The rough stones at her back, with their divots and cracks, are juxtaposed with the softer creases and folds in the fabric of her clothes. You can appreciate the craftsmanship not just in Bouguereau's execution, but in the skill of tailoring and draping of clothing, and even the girl's own knitting. Given the contextual clues of the background, the sky is bright, if not a little cloudy, providing a raking light across the girl's form. Though her face is clearly visible, it's her arms, and more specifically her hands, that are illuminated with more concentrated light, the shadows darkening her lower half. This painting is also an interesting study in color. Bouguereau balances cooler and warmer tones in alternating layers. The mountains in the far distant background are a warm brown, contrasting with the cooler stone of the buildings, and then a bit of warmth again in the rocky hillside with greenery. The physical divide of the middle ground is the cooler tone of the stone directly behind the girl, with her clothing a layer of reds, yellows, and browns, all of which emphasize the cooler and brighter tone of her knitting. Bouguereau skillfully manipulates these various compositional aspects in order to draw the viewer's attention to the true focal point of the painting, the suspended act of a young girl knitting.